Yeah, Brian, what did you make of the way your team reacted to the red card? The first one.
The first one? I mean, Jordan has a chance in the 50th minute. A couple of, moments, but I don't know. I mean, what I didn't like was, that we were savvy. We were trying to, figure out ways how to be better. Although, again, a chance from Jordan comes from Christian, getting himself inside the penalty box. We talked at halftime about, long throw-ins into the box and just little things to try and change the game. But what I didn't like was necessarily, there didn't seem to be as much determination as there should have been. You guys, somebody asked me the question about, when João Paulo got fouled in Dallas and Stephen Fry gets clobbered and a couple other guys gets clobbered and we're not upset about it. And it's something that we need to try and change. Guys need to be upset when things happen, not in the wrong way, because I'm sure someone's going to ask me about Alex Roldan, and that was stupid. That's not smart. So somewhere, Jeremiah, we need to have a little bit more emotion. At the end of the game, Josh was running around and, should have scored, could have scored. That would have been kudos to the effort that kid put in the game. I think the guys tried. They didn't give up. But it certainly wasn't a smart performance.
All right, we'll come front row, Maz, and then Jose.
Brian, in a game like this, how then do you balance discipline and challenging the players? Because there are obviously some self-inflicted wounds here. And then how do you challenge the discipline and challenging the players so that, like you say, they have to have that determination from within?
Well, it's going to be hard, Maz, because we have potentially 9 games in like 27 days or 28 days, and it's going to be hard. Normally you would take guys that do not smart things and sit them down and put someone else on there, and if that guy plays well, the guy has to think about the starter, the supposed starter has to think about, well, geez, I better start playing better. But we're not going to have that because we're going to need to have everybody available and rotate the squad with all of the games that are coming up. So it's a little challenging. The message, tried to send it, that stuff's not going to happen again. I've been through some spells as a coach where your team plays a little undisciplined, and we're going to work on that. Some of those things are going to change. But how do you do it? That's always the trick.
You've been a player, but having, a bad result effort, playing right away, that also gives you an opportunity as a player to change things and atone.
Yeah, but Albert and Alex and Jackson won't get that opportunity. And then we've got DC, Philly, tight turnaround. So everybody in that locker room that's able to play will get a chance to play and hopefully vent some frustration on their next opponent.
Jose.
Crisis is part of what we encountered today. The team looked lost. The team looked like they were not motivated, especially after Raul came off the field. Some of the conversations that can be heard from the field were not necessarily the most positive and the most positive interactions. How do you then rectify what happened today and with such a tight turnaround, but also how do you do so knowing that you have such a long stretch of games coming up?
Well, there's not too tight of a turnaround between the next 2 games. So we will have a week to train. And some of the negativity obviously comes out in frustration. So you address it, I address it in there, and we're going to try and move forward.
We'll go second row to Russ here.
Hey, Coach. That decision to bring Arriaga on for Ruiz Diaz right before the half, what all went into that, and what did you see out of your center back today?
You mean out of Javi?
Yes.
Javi was okay. I mean, look, he made a mistake on the goal, but look, he hasn't played, so was he going to be a little rusty? I felt bad for Raul because, you know, usually center forwards get taken out. We couldn't play without a center back. I had thought about trying to get, Nuhu back there and Christian back at left back, but, Jordan, and because the referee started the game, I thought we were going to have the game, the bowl. It just didn't work out, so we needed to make the sub because I didn't want to take a goal right before halftime. Sometimes when you put a guy in a couple minutes right before halftime, it gives him a chance to get into the game, but Javi was okay.
Reminder, if there are questions on Zoom, please go ahead and hit that raise hand function button so we can get to your inquiries. For now, are there any other questions in here? Yep, go back here to, yep.
Buenas noches. Más que la expulsión del jugador en el primer tiempo, ¿usted cree que la salida de Ruiz Díaz, que hasta ese momento era el mejor jugador del equipo y en los últimos partidos ha demostrado también ser el mejor jugador, la salida de él abrió las puertas para que el Vancouver finalmente se fuera con todo y terminara ganando? Y una pregunta adicional, ¿por qué Raúl Ruiz Díaz y no Morris, por ejemplo, en el cambio?
More than the red card, do you believe that the substitution from Raúl Ruiz Díaz, who was the best player on the field at that point and also one of the best players on the last few games that the Sounders have played, opened the door for Vancouver to be more aggressive and win the game? And the second question is, why Raúl Ruiz Díaz and not, for example, Jordan Morris?
Well, Raul certainly has been very good so far this year. He has put a lot of effort into the game. My decision to keep Jordan Morris on the field is when you lose a man, a lot of times your opponent gains an advantage and they push you back. And Jordan has speed that in transition maybe can help you in certain moments of the game. So it has nothing to do with Raul. He's going to play the next game, and, he's been very good for us.
Con respecto a Raúl, él ha estado jugando muy bien en todos los partidos, poniendo mucho esfuerzo. Sin embargo, la decisión de reemplazar a Raúl y no a Jordan es porque cuando pierdes un jugador en la defensa, es importante tener un jugador que provea velocidad, que provea algo que pueda regresar rápidamente, y eso es algo que Jordan ofrece en su tipo de juego. Y ayuda muchísimo en el tema de la transición también, cuando tienes un juego de transición. Sin embargo, eso no significa que Raúl no sea un jugador importante, es un jugador muy importante, va a jugar en el siguiente partido y de esa forma pues vamos a seguir intentando, ¿no?
All right, Felipe, I see you on Zoom. We'll go ahead and turn it over to you. Please go ahead and ask your question.
Thank you, Alex. Coach Brian, fans come to the stadium to see the team win. Fans start leaving the stadium like around the 71 minute. Do you have any message for the fans that left the stadium and for the ones that stay till the end?
Thank you, Felipe, for that question. Yes, I do. So I appreciate all of the fans, every single one of them that came to the game tonight. I appreciate all the fans that felt they wanted to leave the game in the 71st minute. And I appreciate all of the fans that stayed till the end and kept cheering their team. I think this is one of the lowest points of, that I can remember with the team. And we are going to do everything we can to fix and correct some of the, the way we play, some of the mistakes we made tonight. And we will work extremely hard to try and make sure that when we come back for the next home game, when those fans want to come and watch us win, that we can give them a good performance.
All right, we'll take a couple more in here. Jeremiah, I saw you.
Yeah, I guess you sort of alluded to this, but I mean, how would you assess the danger of this really unraveling from here and getting worse?
Oh, because we had 2 tough road games. I mean, Philly ain't gonna be easy. So, look, it's early, but time is ticking. Told them that in there. But they have to actually think about it, reflect, and, make sure that they're all pulling in the right direction as well. So it's gonna be my task, my job, to get them all to pull in the same direction, all at the same time, with cohesion, both defensively and offensively. Not many people are talking about the tactics tonight, but, we need to be better in all phases, and that's on me. So I'll make sure that the team is together, and I'll make sure they all understand how we want them to play. And then hopefully we can pull ourselves out of this.
Jose, Mike's coming to you.
You brought up the tactics, and the reality is that they haven't worked this year. Is it time to throw it away and to rebuild it, or are we at a position where we're going to stick with this particular attack and formation and approach until something breaks through?
We'll address all of that. We've talked about it in different parts of the season already. It's not like we haven't thought about it. So if we need to tweak it, if we need to try and change it, we're still a little incomplete without De La Vega. We'll wait to see what his inclusion in the group does, what impact that has. But in the interim, we'll look at all options.
Maz, over to you.
Brian, it's always tough to pick out certain players in a game like this, but what did you expect when you put in Obed Vargas to start, and what did you get out of him, and then the pairing between him and Joao Paulo? Because for a moment there, it looked like things were working.
There were some brief moments. I mean, look, the battle between Josh and Obed is an interesting one. If you looked at some of the statistical SOFA scores and stuff like that, they're neck and neck. Maybe Obed was a little better. Maybe my eye test. Josh's performance tonight was good because I liked his effort and what he brought to the game. So that'll be an ongoing battle. Obed and JP were okay. Reminder, that was JP's first game. That might have been a little first start, I should say. So reminder there, that might have been, some challenges, but I thought JP brought some intensity. The one tackle he made there. Those are the things that you want out of him, and those are the things that usually spark the team. But, I think there were a couple passes that he missed that he, and maybe the tempo of the game should have been more controlled.
You're talking about Shaw's tackle at the 31st minute. He makes that tackle and the stadium was just erupted.
Yeah.
Is that the one you're talking about?
But I'd rather the stadium erupt because we scored.
Fair enough.